I really attribute any success that I've had to growing up in rural North Carolina. I didn't grow up in Salisbury. I grew up in a community called Bull Hill. My father worked for the railroad and my mother worked for the school lunchroom. And family influence got me initially interested in education. I became interested in public service when I was in high school and clubs and so on, and then I became active in the Republican Party, and I was in the Optimist Club. In fact, people made fun of me because way back then there weren't many Republicans and they weren't winning elections, and they thought it was unusual to be an optimist and a Republican. So I was interested in public service at a very young age. I got involved in elective politics a little more quickly than I planned to because I was teaching school and it was hard to balance the teaching job and a job in Raleigh. I got involved in Senator, then Congressman Jim Broyhill's first campaign. Then I worked for other Republican candidates, and then I became chairman of the Republican Party in Rowan County. And we had an opening in the North Carolina State Senate. The incumbent Republican decided not to run again. I think I've earned a reputation over the years of being able to work with people in both parties. If that's accurate, I'm most proud of that. When I've worked with so many great people, by the way, most of them have been named Jim. Jim Broyhill, Jim Martin, Jim Holshouser, Jim Hunt, and now the president of the company that I work for is Jim Brady. They're all different. They all have meant a lot in my personal and professional life. My paying job that I enjoyed the most, and by the way, I've never had a job that I didn't enjoy. I would say being secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services, which was called Human Resources at the time because of all the human service programs. A public servant has to be unselfish and has to be willing to work hard to meet the needs of his or her constituents. And you have to do what you think's right in order to help people, primarily who can't help themselves. The position that I liked best in a volunteer position was chairing the State Board of Education, visiting 750 schools and talking and listening to students and faculty. The most important issue facing North Carolina today and tomorrow will be the creation of jobs, but not just good jobs, but having the trained workforce of people to fill those jobs. Education is the key to our future. Business likes to locate in a state with good education. Our university system has an international reputation. Our community college system, which does a lot of the training and educating of our workers, is considered by almost everyone as being in the top 3 or 4. As head of the State Chamber of Commerce, we worked with the heads of the UNC system and the community college system to get the $3.2 billion higher education bond package through the legislature. And then I had the opportunity to chair the campaign, which carried all 100 counties with 74% of the vote. In public life, you can't see results from a lot of things you do. And now you can go on every public university campus, every community college campus, and see something that the bonds actually paid for and built. I also chaired a bond issue for a couple $2 billion for K-12, and just recently was involved in the Speakers Bureau and the communications for the Wake County K-12 school bonds. The loss of my wife about 16 months ago has caused me to relook and rethink what's important in life and to re-emphasize the need to spend every day as if it may be your last. A good leader has to be a good listener, and a good leader needs to recognize that he or she's not learning very much when their mouth's moving. You learn more when you stop and pause and listen. So I think a good leader has enough sense to know that he or she doesn't know it all, and they hire and surround themselves with people who are smarter than we are. There are many rewards for working in public service, and one is the ability to help people, often to help people who don't have a voice or who don't know how to get help from the government. And policies affect people, and they're not just names, they're real live people. One of the benefits of being in public service is the feeling of satisfaction, of being able to make some change.